Hey everybody, so we're a few weeks into the Witch Queen. Well, a couple of weeks, yeah, a few weeks into Witch Queen, and I thought that would be a good idea to sort of like take a step back and kind of check out some analytics of what's going on in the game right now in terms of the meta. I'm trying to figure out kind of where we're settling with the meta. I'm seeing lots of like sweeping broad statements where people like it's all fusions, and some people are like it's all hand cannons and shotties still, and others are saying this and that, and I feel like it's a good idea to maybe like kind of compile everything together and take a good hard look at the analytics. We're going to look at a number of different statistics and lists in this video today. Try and maybe make sense of it all, because data can be hard to understand what you're looking at. For example, there's a screenshot of Trials of Osiris going around right now where it just shows the main ingredient on top, right? And everyone's like, fusions are OP, and we'll get to that later. But we also have to consider a lot of other factors, like Xur just sold a God roll main ingredient. So yeah, main ingredient's probably going to be on top because it was accessible, highlight level. So if you're just like, you've been on the PvE grind and you're like, I need a good gun to head into trials with, bam, Xur's got you covered. So that's going to skew things a little bit. But let's take a good hard look at everything and try and make sense of it all. We're going to start with quick play, and we're going to start with usage rates. I'm on Destiny Tracker. There's a number of websites that track data independently because Destiny's API is public. They can do that. So I'm starting out on Destiny Tracker. If you want to look at these stats yourself, you can do that. But okay, so we're going to start with usage rate in quick play. I always like to start with quick play because quick play is where the overwhelming majority of the player population who engages with PvP, this is where they go. Okay, so I like to use this as the base litmus test because it just makes the most sense. This is where everyone who engages with PvP goes here first, okay? We can talk about trials, we can talk about comp, but the parameters are different there. You've got different game modes, a different set, specific set of conditions like elimination, and that's going to change the way people play that, because elimination is all about getting that initial pick. So you can see things that are good at burst damage and team fire be on top. So the conditions under which people are playing will skew what's popular. So we're start with usage rate. This isn't kills. This is popularity in what you're using. So up on top, you'll see is the funnel web. Does that mean the funnel web is the best gun in PvP right now? Not really. It just means that it's the most commonly used. Why? Why might that be on top of the PvP meta in quick play? A simple answer is we just came off a week where everyone and their mom was farming for a funnel web with that funnel web farm. That's going to be a factor. So that's going to be a factor. This is in terms of what people have equipped in PvP. Next on that list is Yowlerhorn. Okay, Yowlerhorn. It's the most consistent heavy weapon in the game right now. You equip it, you pull the trigger, and you're going to get at least a kill or two. You point it at anything that's moving, going to get a kill or two. So it's very popular in that regard. Next, you've got the crate. These are, you'll notice the top 3 primary weapons here are new world drops. People are just trying out some new stuff, okay? They're probably taking what they've got. This is, the things that are on top here are probably people who are like, I got to go get my pinnacles done. And they've already got everything set up on their character for what they've been doing in the rest of the game. So their PvE kits are probably just going to transfer over here. They're going to play 3 games, get their drops, and go. So it's not necessarily that these are the best things in the game. It's just that they tend to be what people have equipped. So funnel web, crate, syncopation. 3 new world drops, right? Moving on down. Now you're going to start getting into the stuff that I think is really what's actually good in quick play. These are the things that the people who are hanging out there long term tend to be using. And so you're going to get into the normal stuff, the hand cannons and shotguns. And here we go. Eyes Luna. Okay? Eyes Luna. It's right behind crate and syncopation at 2.12% usage rate. But you'll notice in kills, in the total percentage of kills, it's actually higher than these. It's actually higher than these. Because it's better. It's a better gun than these. So while it's not equipped as often as the other two by just a little bit, it's actually responsible for more kills than the others. Then you've got the Osteostriga. Everyone's trying it out, seeing how it is in PvP. Crisis Inverted, another 140 hand cannon. Ace of Spades, another 140 hand cannon. Then you've got the Ragnall D, which has been sort of the hotness when it comes to shotguns lately. It had that extra zoom value initially. Everyone was farming for one of these and trying them out in PvP. Very popular. The Cantata, another 140 hand cannon, another shotgun. You got the Reckless Endangerment. DMT, obviously still a very popular choice. It's good at holding lanes, relatively easy to use. You've got another shotgun, and then you're going to come down here, and you're going to start getting into some less popular things by, you know, half a percentage. Peace of Mind, I love this thing, by the way, but we finally see a pulse rifle. So the first pulse rifle, other than syncopation, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 slot. Notice we haven't seen a single fusion rifle in terms of popularity to use one. But Peace of Mind, Lemon Arc, just got a new catalyst this season. People are probably trying that out or trying to complete it. Feloncer's Lie, still one of the best, if not the best shotgun in the game. Palindrome Adept, still one of the best, if not the best 140 hand cannon in the game. Witherhoard, now we finally get our first fusion rifle in the form of, sorry, I'm trying to make sure that you can see these. Finally get the Likely Suspect here, down at, like what, number 17. We finally see our first fusion rifle. So a lot of people are complaining about how often they're seeing fusion rifles. And look at the kill percentage is only 1.3. It's really not that far off from its usage rate at 1.25. So I see a lot of people complaining about getting killed by fusion rifles. And I'm just not seeing that very often. I mean, you run into them every now and then. But, I mean, in terms of usage rate and kill percentage, it's behind Feloncer's Lie. The 7th Seraph CQC is more used and responsible for more kills. Reckless Endangerment, more used, responsible for more kills. The Ragnall D, more used, responsible for more kills. It's behind several shotguns in the meta right now. So, and then right behind it, more shotguns. The Reese Walker, Matador, Hawkmoon. These are all things we've seen a lot lately. A lot of people just using the same old, same old. More hand cannons and shotguns. Crimson, Thorn. Outbreak, starting to get used a little bit more. But then you got Chaperone, Fractithist, Wastelander. We still haven't seen another fusion rifle behind the Likely Suspect until we get down to the Snorri at just a 0.7% usage rate, 0.8% responsible for 0.8% kills. So, is it a fusion meta? Man, I don't know. If you look at just this out of context, is usage rate and kill percentage, probably not qualifying as a fusion rifle meta. Okay, but let's switch here to competitive PvP. And you see a lot of similar things. The order's a little jumbled, but when in places where winning matters, what are people using? Okay, Funnel Web is still on top. This is probably because if you go into survival, you know, the survival game mode, you can get, you know, powerful drop. Again, people probably just playing for their seven round wins and dipping with the Funnel Web. So that's on top. But then after that, the people who are sticking around, what are they using? Lots of hand cannons and shotguns here. Eyes Luna, Ace of Spades, Yowlerhorn, Lemon Arc, Feloncer's Lie, Last Word, Palindrome, DMT, Crimson, 7th Seraph Shotgun, Reckless Endangerment. You finally see a sniper rifle and a fusion rifle down here with Adored and Main Ingredient. 1.6% usage rates on these. This one does have a kill percentage of 2%, which lands it comfortably behind, you know, a lot of these other weapons up here. But one thing to remember is that there just aren't as many good fusion rifles as there are good shotguns. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the shotgun kills are divvied up. They're divvied up between Feloncer's Lie, 7th Seraph CQC, Reckless Endangerment, Chaperone, you know, Matador, Ragnall. You got all these shotguns, like 5-6 shotguns that are popular. How many fusion rifles are popular? Really just one. You know, everyone's got their God roll main ingredient, either the one they got last season or the one they just picked up this season. But there aren't as many good fusion rifles as there are good shotguns. So the fusion rifle kills are going to be concentrated on the few good ones, while the shotgun kills are going to be spread out across the many good ones. And it just depends on which one gave you a good roll in terms of which one you're using, right? And preference. But yeah, not a lot of fusion rifle usage in comp. And really not a lot of sniper rifle usage. You know, you had to scroll down quite a bit to get to the Adored, which is still one of the best snipers in the game. 1.67% usage rate and only 1.5% for kill percentage, which lands it very far behind a lot of these other special weapons in the meta. And behind that, you get the 1,000-yard stare at 1.2% usage rate, 1.1%, responsible for 1.1% of the kills in comp. So, it still looks like predominantly hand cannons and shotguns are across the board the most used. You see a couple of pulses here, Messenger at 1%, Peace of Mind at 1.1%. A little bit of syncopation is pretty popular. Obviously, you can craft one of these to your liking. So you've seen a little bit of that. But for the most part, hand cannons and shotguns are rising to the surface unequivocally here. Just pretty interesting. So, is it a fusion rifle meta like people are saying? I think fusion rifles are very strong. And they're very annoying. Like having one invis person maining a fusion rifle is obnoxious as heck. I will agree with that. And it doesn't necessarily feel good to get vooped from 20 meters away from someone who you can't see. That kind of sucks, right? And so I think that experience kind of stands out. But in terms of how much damage it's actually doing in the meta, probably not a ton. It's just really obnoxious. So it may be okay to maybe have the Sandbox team take a look at some of these outliers, like the main ingredient god rolls. Maybe stop handing out god roll main ingredients. That could help too. So I think there's certainly some merit to the people who are criticizing fusion rifle usage. I think there's merit to that, because it's not just because something isn't overly popular doesn't mean it's not worth taking a look at. It's the experience, it's the feeling, and it doesn't feel good. I think fusion rifles as a whole are probably in a pretty good spot. It's just the outliers that are obnoxious. Next thing I want to look at is Destiny Trials Report. Destiny Trials Report. So this is the first weekend of Trials being up since Witch Queen came out. There's a few things to take a look at here. A couple of different graphs and stats that they're tracking. So first and foremost, you just have to understand that Grenader Jake is a machine. ZK Mushroom and Frostbolt, absolute machines. Look at these absolute gamers up in here. But I played some Trials this weekend. You know, went flawless, got my loot, and I experienced that. And I certainly have complaints when it comes to Trials. The weapon meta isn't necessarily, I don't think, one of them. I think the weapon meta in here really revolves around the game type itself being elimination. And that really dramatically shakes up the way people play the game. But a lot of these guns are pretty similar to what we were seeing in Quick Play and in Comp. But now we're looking at Trials. First thing you'll notice, main ingredient is as an individual gun, is responsible for the most individual weapon kills at 656,000. Okay, that's a lot of kills on one gun. There's no way around that. That's a lot of kills on one gun. But does that mean that fusion rifles as a whole are busted? Come look at this down here. 1.3 million. So 10% of all kills in Trials this weekend have been fusion rifles. Shotgun's still more popular. By a lot. Not by a little, by a lot. So you're looking at, you know, 600, over 500,000 more kills on shotguns at 14%, responsible for 14% of the kills. But like I said, there are just a lot more good shotguns than there are good fusion rifles. So most of the fusion rifle kills, right, half of the fusion rifle kills are one fusion rifle. And then the other half are spread out among, you know, your likely suspect, Telesto, you know, the, why am I spacing on the name of it? The solar one, rapid fire solar one. I don't know why I'm spacing on the name of that. I use that one too. Zealot's Reward, stuff like that. But in terms of shotguns, you got a lot of shotguns that are popular. Okay? You got your Chaperone, you got your, all the ones that we just looked at with the meta breakdown of the other playlists. Your Reckless Endangerment, your Feloncer's Lie. There's just lots and lots and lots of good shotguns. So, while main ingredient is on top for individual kills, it's just part of this 1.3 million, while shotguns are part of the 1.9 million. Shotgun's still more popular. Hand cannon's still by a landslide the most popular primary weapon choice. The next best primary weapon is SMGs down at 950,000, as opposed to 2.8 million basically. So 21% of all the kills in Trials are hand cannons, 7% are SMGs, 7% are pulse rifles, 4% are auto rifle, and half of those are summoners, because that's what people are getting as they're playing. Oh, I got a new pinnacle drop. I'll just equip it because it's going to bring my power level up. 2% summoner usage there. So there you have it. So what is the meta, right? What's the meta? I think unequivocally we can say that hand cannon shotgun has not gone anywhere. Okay, nerfing pellet shotguns didn't really have a huge effect on how good they are, just because they couple so well with any kind of movement. Whether you're Icarus dashing or dodge rolling or jumping or whatever you're doing, a shotgun can be pulled up and discharged instantly. A fusion rifle can be thrown off a number of different ways. Any lateral movement. And hunters are the most popular subclass to use in PvP. The most used subclass, especially in trials, hunters. They can change directions, whether they're on the ground with a dodge roll or if they're in the air with a directional jump ability that the other subclasses don't have. So the only way any other subclasses can change direction midair is only if they're running Top Tree Dawn Blades specifically. That's the only other way they can make a lateral movement midair. So shotguns are still going to be more popular just because of the way that Destiny is played. They're more consistently useful. Fusion rifles are still really, really good. Is it a bad thing to have other special weapons be popular? No, I think these things being even relatively close together is a good thing, because weapon diversity is a good thing. So if we nerf fusions, we're going to find ourselves, snipers aren't that popular right now, 7% usage rate. They're as popular as SMGs and pulse rifles in competitive environments. So if you nerf fusions, you're just going to be back to shotguns being king by a whole heck of a lot. You know? So I think it's a good thing to have a little bit of diversity with the special weapons. Special weapons may still be a little too powerful. Maybe it's the ammo economy. Maybe it's how weak primaries can feel or how easily they're flinched. I don't know. But we could definitely see some more primary usage, but overall, hand cannons as primary weapons still responsible for way more kills than any of the special weapons are. But then all the special weapons are bunched up because people are running hand cannon shotty, they're running hand cannon and fusion rifle, they're running hand cannon and sniper. You know, the majority of folks. So I wish we would see some other primary weapons be as popular as hand cannons. Part of that is map design. It doesn't help that Trials this week, let's remember one thing, Trials this week is on Endless Vale. A tiny, tiny map. You know, it's a tiny map. That's a factor. Would these numbers look exactly the same if we were playing on Eternity or Vostok? No. Pulse rifle usage would be up, and then people would be whining about pulse rifles. Sniper rifle usage would be up, and people would be complaining about sniper rifles. It's the bad guy of the week scenario. And the bad guy of the week right now is the main ingredient. Why? Xur just sold it. Highly accessible, highly powerful. The next most popular thing is something that comes from a Grandmaster Nightfall activity. This is a lot less accessible than this is, right? This is more accessible to more players right now than any of the other things are. So you go to Xur, you pick it up, and you're in business. This, you got to farm for it. This, you got to farm for it. This, you got to do an exotic quest for. This, you had to farm for it and get lucky on your rolls. This, you did an exotic quest. All of these things are less accessible than the main ingredient. So it's the bad guy of the week. Okay? Anyways, that's where we are with the meta right now. How do you interpret this data? What are you thinking? How are you feeling about it? Where do we go from here? What are the outliers? What do we need to keep an eye on moving forward? In my opinion, I think we need to be more focused on the game modes, the maps, and Void 3.0. Those things are all bigger factors to me on what makes Destiny good or bad right now in the PvP spheres than the weapon meta is. This is tangential to me. It's not even the main focus on what we should be looking at to move forward. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching the video. Be warm and well fed. Hope to catch you in the Crucible. Bye-bye.